Hey, welcome everybody to Search the Scriptures. We are on study number 3 in the book of Job, and it is the day before Christmas, which that would be, Lydia? Who's off camera? Madison, who's off camera? Day before Christmas is? Christmas Eve. So it's Christmas Eve, and of all the places that we could be on Christmas Eve in God's Word, we are in the book of Job with a guy covered in ashes and sackcloth, covered with boils, scraped himself with a pot to cut the boils open, and his family's died, all his livestock's gone, his life's pretty much a mess. So you think you're having a bad Christmas? It could be worse. Job had it a lot worse. Let's get to the study today in Job chapter 6 and chapter 7, and we're going to look at two different questions from chapter number 6. What does Job's condition make him long for from God and from men? And what can we learn from his double disappointment? And from chapter 7, by what metaphors? Do you know what a metaphor is, Lydia?
Yeah, it's face without using like or as.
Okay, that's Madison. It's smart. By what metaphors does Job describe his present life? And from 7:11 through 21, what is the substance of his complaints against God? And now let's go to Job chapter 6 and chapter number 7. If you have a Bible, you can turn to it, and we will look at this passage together.
Job 6. Then Job replied, "If only my anguish could be weighed, and all my misery be placed on the scales, it would surely outweigh the sand of the seas. No wonder my words have been impetuous. The arrows of the Almighty are in me. My spirit drinks in their poison. God's terrors are marshaled against me. Does a wild donkey bray when it has grass, or an ox bellow when it has fodder? Is tasteless food eaten without salt, or is their flavor the white of an egg? I refuse to touch it. Such food makes me ill. Oh, that I might have my request, that God would grant what I hope for, that God would be willing to crush me, to let loose his hand and cut me off. Then I would still have this consolation, my joy in unrelenting pain, that I had not denied the words of the Holy One. What strength do I have that I should still hope? What prospects that I should be patient? Do I have the strength of a stone? Is my flesh bronze? Do I have any power to help myself now that success has been driven from me? A despairing man should have the devotion of his friends, even though he forsakes the fear of the Almighty. But my brothers are as undependable as intermittent streams, as the streams that overflow when darkened by thawing ice and swollen with melting snow, but that cease to flow in the dry season, and in the heat vanish from their channels. Caravans turn aside from their routes. They go up into the wasteland and perish. The caravans of Tema look for water. The traveling merchants of Sheba look in hope. They are distressed because they had been confident. They arrive there only to be disappointed. Now you two have proved to be of no help. You see something dreadful and are afraid. Have I ever said, 'Give something on my behalf, pay a ransom for me from your wealth, deliver me from the hand of the enemy, ransom me from the clutches of the ruthless'? Teach me, and I will be quiet. Show me where I have been wrong. How painful are honest words. But what do your arguments prove? Do you mean to correct what I say and treat the words of a despairing man as wind? You would even cast lots for the fatherless and barter away your friend. But now, be so kind as to look at me. Would I lie to your face? Relent. Do not be unjust. Reconsider, for my integrity is at stake. Is there any wickedness on my lips? Can my mouth not discern malice? Job 7. Does not man have hard service on earth? Are not his days like those of a hired man? like a slave longing for the evening shadows, or a hired man waiting eagerly for his wages, so I have been allotted months of futility, and nights of misery have been assigned to me. When I lie down, I think, how long before I get up? The night drags on, and I toss till dawn. My body is clothed with worms and scabs. My skin is broken and festering. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle, and they come to an end without hope. Remember, O God, that my life is but a breath. My eyes will never see happiness again. The eye that now sees me will see me no longer. You will look for me, but I will be no more. As a cloud vanishes and is gone, so he who goes down to the grave does not return. He will never come to his house again. His place will know him no more. Therefore I will not keep silent. I will speak out in the anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. Am I the sea or the monster of the deep that you put me under guard? When I think my bed will comfort me and my couch will ease my complaint, even then you frighten me with dreams and terrify me with visions, so that I prefer strangling and death rather than this body of mine. I despise my life. I would not live forever. Let me alone. My days have no meaning. What is man that you make so much of him, that you give him so much attention, that you examine him every morning and test him every moment? Will you never look away from me, or let me alone even for an instant? If I have sinned, what have I done to you, O watcher of men? Why have you made me your target? Have I become a burden to you? Why do you not pardon my offenses and forgive my sins? For I will soon lie down in the dust. You will search me, but I will be no more.
Question number 1 from chapter 6. What does Job's condition make him long for from God and from men? And what can we learn from his double disappointment? Well, Job wants answers from God as to why he's been singled out for so much pain and so much suffering. He wants friends that'll be there to listen and to comfort, not to accuse and to lecture him. And when we're going through extremely difficult times, we want immediate answers, and more often than not, our answers are not forthcoming. We want God to bring instant relief, but instead, he chooses to allow suffering to do his perfect work in us. Our friends either ignore the suffering or try to find some sort of justification in it. There's only one justification for suffering. Sin has entered into this world, and all that pass through it, righteous and unrighteous, will endure suffering. What we learn in the midst of suffering will determine how we emerge on the other side. And from chapter 7, by what metaphors does Job describe his present life? And from verses 11 through 21, what is the substance of his complaints against God? Well, Job likens life on earth as time spent in hard labor, as a slave longing for the sun to set, or a hired man anticipating his wages. For Job, life is something that we long to come to an end. Life is also something that passes quickly, like a weaver's rod, or breath, or a rapidly fading cloud. Job asks God, why do you even pay much attention to a single man? Will you even give me a break? What have I done to deserve this? And why have you made me your favorite target? These are the same types of questions that we still ask of God today in the midst of our own suffering. I hope you are not having a Christmas like Job, but I hope that God is richly blessing you today. God bless. Have a fantastic rest of your day.